streaming gain, virtual camera gain. Should be, yeah, good enough and running. I'll just share my camera in here as well. Let me know if you can hear me all good and everything. There's a little chat box in the top right corner of this virtual production chat, so you can ask questions in here and all that. And basically, thanks for jumping in on this. And so this is all about this level switching blueprint that I really want to share. I think this is really awesome. Essentially, you might have seen from this little preview vid that I've sort of figured out this system for picking up a composure composition and switching between levels with a composition persisting throughout. So composure level switcher. If you want to follow along with this, we're going to have a link for this level to download, but I will just go through this step by step, and hopefully it'll be really nice and something you can follow along. I'm just double checking that stream's all running. Doobie-doo, looking all good. So yeah, cool thing with this is, for this you might want a composure composition. You might want a media plate, like so live streamed feed in, or just a pre-recorded bit of footage. There is a bit of pre-recorded footage in the project that I've provided, so you can use that, or you can swap it out for your own. And you might have, we've got some levels set up in this system, but you might have a new level that you want to switch to. So that's sort of what you might need to follow along with this and how you might benefit from this. And why is this level switcher useful? So you might quite often find that you make a composure setup, you've done all the work to make that setup, and then you want to bring it into a new level. This can be quite tricky. So using this persistent level system, you'll see in a second that this becomes a way to just do your composure setup once, and then take that composure setup, flip it out to new levels. So you only have to make the composure system once. So it's useful for that. It's useful for keeping things organized as well. Like a lot of people in sort of game development and stuff use persistent and sort of child levels to split out their stuff, even in terms of lighting, collisions, things like that. So this can be really good for keeping stuff organized as well. And live level switching can also just be quite an exciting thing. You can just do some real-time level switching. You know, there's a lot of use cases for that. So you're in a virtual studio, you could switch it out to like a whole new setting, you know. So just going to jump into the project. Definitely should have had this open before we started, but that's cool. Just as an aside, like here's quite a nice virtual studio example that you can download for free and use in whatever way you'd like. They've also got some Unreal Engine documentation on how to grab the stuff out of these levels, and you can just pull out all these lights and these kind of fixings and things like that and make a really professional looking studio quite quickly. So this is jumping into the shared project that we've got going on, and this is really, really awesome because we've taken bits of this kind of virtual studio setup, but we've also created some of our own meshes to make it just a bit more like off-worldy, a bit cooler. You know, some of these virtual studios can be kind of dry, so we've made something a bit cooler here in this example. And this is kind of the project, the level that you can download. This is something you can totally follow along with, even in future streams and stuff. We will always be using this shared project, so it's an awesome way to kind of follow along. So what I'm going to start by doing is just queue up this media. I keep spamming this save, there's something going on there, but queuing up this media, you can see you have this nice media plate going on. And so if I hide, so what I've got these levels down here. You can find this in like window levels, and you'll get this little tab down here. And what you could do is you can hide So I can hide all of these. I've got this one persistent level here. I've got this master level. And this master level just contains, I guess if we go to like unlit mode, this is all it's got in it. So it's got a camera, it's got a level sequence, it's got my desk, it's got my talent, and it's got my other media plate, my second media plate. So this is persisting throughout all of my other levels. And the cool thing about this is that we now have derivative levels that we can open up. And you can show and hide these sort of at your whim. So this is now, you know, switching out the level on the fly, which is really, really nice. So the awesome thing about this is that it's the same comp. I haven't had to do any more work to remake all of this whole comp that I was really happy with. Made the media plate, it's got a lot going on in that. So that can just be part of the persistent level. And then any studios, I can just flip them out. So let's just like show this in action. On begin play, I've got my nice, so my comp here is going out to viewport. So the output for the comp is actually player viewport output. So when I press play, my actual comped footage is now going over everything. So it's the nice composited media plates and everything just sat in my level. I can press 1, I've got like a simple camera switch going on, so that's cool. But then if I press 2, I can switch out a whole level. And so my sequence is still running, still got the composition, but yeah, you can change levels. I've still got the functionality for switching sequences on pressing the 1 key, but on the 2 key, the 3 key, and the 4 key, I'm able to switch these levels really, really quickly, which is really, really nice. You might notice she's behind the same desk here, and if I go to this level 1, you can see it kind of messes up because there's kind of new geometry in this level that I haven't set in the original mask, and that's why I have this same desk persisting throughout, because she's behind this masked desk. It might get a little more complicated to figure out the masks, but it's totally something you can do with your level switching. You might notice also the screen moves position. I think the best, clearest example is here. If we go between Studio 3 and 4, you can see the actual media plate changes position as well, which is again just a really easy bit of level functionality that we can add in. So that's the system as it is. It's like a very loosely chucked together system at the moment. You could get pretty advanced with it, but
hey, can I now have a question?
Hey, yeah, go for it.
Persistent levels. Hello, so let me introduce myself. My name is Jakub, I'm from Poland. I'm not, of course, English native speaker, so if I said something stupid or non-understandable, feel free to, ask. But,
No, here's the place.
I watched all, full your previous stream, and I was thinking about that kind of persistent level, how to say it, usage of this whole your add-on to Unreal Engine, and I have that kind of question because we are little Polish producers, making music videos just for ourselves, and we're looking for something which will use us asymmetry, but as you know, asymmetry is very expensive. So I found you on YouTube, and a couple months ago, and then I thought okay, it's cool, but very hard to use. And now I see it's starting to be more user-friendly, and I exactly thought it would be great to have that kind of thing, because I can, use my already done level, or just buy some level marketplace and add that kind of functionality, then put green screen footage. And my question is like, how can I, in your tool, change lighting or something with this plate just to merge it with the environment? Because
Yeah, sure.
I see that you are changing the environment, changing levels, and I don't see that it's affecting, changing something very bright. All of them are
Yeah, so this is something I've been working on, and it could be quite a good one for a future live stream. I will go into just the functionality of this level changing system for now, but essentially what you would usually do is create a second CG capture, so like a second layer element with the CG, and for capturing lighting, you'd have to do some shader work to overlay. You would essentially create a copy of your media plate that's just black, and so that it can capture any light that goes in front of it, and then you would lay over in your transform pass. You would use a screen blend mode to layer your lighting layer over the top of the other layers. It's quite a complex process to set up, but once you have it set up, it can be reused quite a lot. So definitely a really good question. It's something I should definitely go into in a future live stream for sure. But once you have this system set up,
it sounds very complicated. But
yeah.
But in that kind of work, you can imagine we have a real life example. We record something on the green screen. We download already existing work. We put that kind of play on the persistent level very easy. And then I want to color match it a little bit, and it would be great to watch all YouTube tutorials regarding that color matching. There's tons of way how to do it, but it would be great just have it in the two clicks, just this way.
Yeah, agreed. It's totally stuff that we're working towards, like with this shared project, and with it's just sort of in development down the line. We want to make it a lot more drag and drop, a lot more plug and play. It's stuff we're working on.
A lot of people will want to use. Sorry.
Sure.
I think that a lot of people want to use it like me, not only studio where it's consistent high lighting, but maybe some that kind of like everyone likes cyberpunk environments. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and more like
a struggle with lighting.
Yeah, this is definitely like a solution for filmmakers as well as broadcast studios for sure. So this at the moment we're diving into studio kind of stuff, but it's totally a massive interest for us as well as like the filmmaking side of it as well, and the music videos and stuff. And anything to just like quickly get that media plate looking like it's situated in that scene a little more is really essential for sure. Yeah.
Because in all of that kind of tools there is everyone knows that you can make a green screen, good composition or bad composition, and everyone who knows how it works see it in the first impression that it's a good composition or bad composition. So this color matching, color grading is necessary. It would be great to have it all in one tool in Unreal Engine, because opposite way I would have to match it in After Effects, then paste it and look, okay, it's work good, not good in Unreal Engine, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Another thing, because I watch all these previous, sorry that I'm talking so speed, but
that's okay. We're going to have a bit more of an open discussion after this demo, but that's absolutely fine.
But last question, because I will watch it later, all of this stream, but now I have time to just ask the question. So I want to just clarify one thing. If I correctly understand, now this tool, just to use it personally, it's not paid, but when it's starting to be paid, when I start to use it commercially, then to be honest with you, then I pay you for this. That's how it works?
Yeah, that's correct. You can sign up for a community license, and we review all the applications, and you can get that for free on a community license. But as it becomes commercial, you're expected to get a machine license, or there's a few license options.
Okay, right. So there is watermark or something, or something like this in the community?
Well, if you go through the community program and sign up, you can get a non-watermarked version. But it just takes, we review those every few weeks. So you just have to make a bit of an application, show what you're working on, and then we'll approve those at our kind of discretion. But that way you can have no watermark and you can work on it. But other than that, once it becomes commercial, you go into commercial license basically.
Okay, and we talk about $350.
Right now. That's correct for the compositing toolkit. Cool. So yeah, sorry to cut you off, but I'm gonna dive back into
high price, but for indie makers it's okay. Even from people from Poland who are very poor.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure,
just joking.
sure.
But I want to also be honest and good with you because this work is very dope.
Yeah.
Really cool. I don't know the correct English words to explain my anxiety about this thing because I struggle so
Appreciate
much
it.
with this compositing, asymmetry tool, whatever it's very hard to understand. And I really hope that you'll make this tool like easier. Because now it's very complicated.
It's always the aim. Always the aim for sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay,
So
that's all my question.
That's cool. No,
thanks.
Thanks.
Time for me. Sorry everyone that interrupted so long, and thank you so much. I will watch all later.
Thanks for your input. Yeah, thanks for your input. We'll go into more of a discussion later on, but yeah, thanks for that. Nice to hear you're interested. Amazing.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Cool.
Bye. Big fan. Big greetings from Poland. Bye.
Big greetings. Thanks a lot. Cool. So I'm just gonna recap this a little bit because there's a couple of people that's joined in at this point. I'll just show you the system. So you got camera switcher. That's pretty normal. I've just got my full composition. I've got my non-anti-aliased full composure composition because I've got the composition going out to the player viewport. So when I press begin play, this all runs. But if I press the 2 key, I get to switch levels. So it's essentially like the same thing as like switching a sequence, but you can do this with whole levels. So my sequence persists through to all of these different levels. So I've still got the ability to change cameras, but I've also got the ability to change whole levels or scenes as well, which, super cool for virtual broadcast stuff, super cool for filmmaking stuff, loads of possibilities with this. So let me just dive into the blueprint because it's really, really simple. It's just you have to know the nodes to use. So if I open, so this is all in the level blueprint for this al comp A. So al comp A on its own is literally just my 2 media plates. That one's unloaded. We've got the table, and we've got the 2 media plates, and we've got the camera and the level sequence. So that's everything that persists across all of these levels. So if I go back to lit, if I just jump into this level blueprint, it's really quite simple. So this is all my blueprints for the whole level so far. This is the camera switching, it's the playing the media plate, and it's the changing levels. So what I've done to start is just disable screen messages, which hasn't seemed to work, but and just as so this is the node. This is the node for changing levels. It's load or unload stream level. So it's essentially level streaming. So what I've started is just as like a safety thing is unload all other levels on begin play and just load my Al Studio A, which is this one. So on begin play, it's going to do that. Then I go on to talent media start. So this is just opening the media source, which is this, just making sure that kicks off when I begin play. And that's just taking the in-game reference to this media. And then I'm going to play the initial level sequence. And then I've also got this set plane transforms. So this is just making sure that these are sat where they're supposed to be. So you can just do set plane transform for that. So then so that's all good. I've got the sequence switching controls, which we could go into, but it's really, really simple. You just stop one sequence, play another sequence. But it's really what we're looking at in this is, so on the 2 key, this is where I'm doing loading my new level. So first thing I want to do is change the position of the plane, which is this plane here. So first thing I'm going to do is set that position of that plane. And I've stored that in a variable here. So I've just basically one by one copy and pasted all the transforms for this plane and just stored that in a variable. So that's for level 2 plane transform. So setting out transform of that. And then I do unload stream level. So when I press 2, I'm going to unload this level and then I'm going to load this level. Going to make sure the other level is unloaded because I might have gone from Studio C to Studio A, so you can do another unload stream level. And then I'm going to do a load stream level. So just load studio A. So there's two ways you can do it. You can do it by level drop down here, or you can do it by name. So that's useful, two different ways to do it. And essentially that is the same logic for all of these. You know, as you add more levels, you'll have to then unload all the levels. So if I had 4, I'd have to have 3 unloads and 1 load. So it gets quite silly like that, but it's not. It works as like a test blueprint for now. So something else you can add in, which is quite cool, is this loading screen widget. So as you can see, when you press play, you get, you know, everything loading in. It kind of snaps in, looks a bit funny. So what I did was just did this loading screen widget as well, and you can quite easily just like hook that functionality up so that it fires before the loading of the level. And what this does is just makes a little black and white fade, a little black fade. So it kind of covers up that. And you know, obviously you could switch that out for your logo flying in, transition effect, play a little transition video, something like that. And that's really simple as well. It's just create a widget, which I've called loading screen widget, and just add it to viewport. And what this widget has going on is it's literally just a canvas panel that's set to color black, and in the animation down here, again this fade in animation, it's literally just a couple keyframes where you'd key your color and opacity. So, you know, very, very simple fade in. It's just adding that widget over the top, and then in the time that it takes to fade back out again, it's probably fired and done all of this. So that's really, really cool. So I was kind of going to show you, it's actually really quite simple, how you would take that blueprint functionality and load your own level into it. I think I've got time to just show you this quickly. So I've got quite a lot of Virtual Studio Kit stuff in here. You got awesome maps and stuff from that. So like, say I've got this Studio D, yeah, that's one I haven't used yet. So this studio, I want to load this in. What I would do, I'd go to my persistent level, Comp, and just go down here and go, oh no, go here and go add existing, Virtual Studio Kit, maps. And also you can just, if you want to take this from another whole project, sorry, go back and forth here, but first off you can just go right click, asset actions, migrate, and then you can just choose what you want to migrate. You probably want all of that because it's all dependent on each other, and then you find your file path. It needs to go into a content folder for your new project. Then once you've migrated that, you should have it in your current project, and you can go add existing, maps, Studio D, just open that, and now it's just loaded it in right off the bat. So you kind of need to clean this up a little bit, so you want to make sure you're kind of organized with your folders and everything. But basically I know that anything that's not, so cameras I don't need, Composure I do need, that's what I've already set, decals, groups, lights, meshes, persistent I need to keep out here, reflections, Studio 1 I need to keep out here, volumes I need to keep out here, and these two. Oh, okay, select all of those and put them in a folder. So that's Studio D. This can go, I believe. Yeah, that's not needed, and that's not needed. So yeah, now we've got Studio D, we've got all of that, and we probably want to reposition it. So you can do right click, select all descendants. And you know, kind of annoying, but you can now move the whole studio around. Might want to kind of plan that before. But that's cool. So yeah, that's all set out. let's double click up here to jump up here, jump to the top. So that's cool. So I'm going to hide that for now. We're back in our original studio. And say I want to switch out, instead of Studio C, you want to go to Studio D instead. Go to Level Blueprint and just find the blueprint that's opening Studio C. Here it is. And we can just switch this to Studio D. We also want to find anywhere that we're unloading Studio C. Change that to D. Compile and save that. And so when we run this, now got on the 3-button push, we're now in this studio instead. So it looks like that's essentially how you would work that out. It looks like I am loading both when I press the 4 key. So let's just see what's going on there. 4 key. Should be unloading Studio D, loading Studio A. Yeah, you have to watch the logic for that, but that's essentially how you'd add in a new level for it. You just need to check that you're unloading the right things and loading the right things. But yeah, that is the bulk of the blueprint. Again, it's at its very kind of skeleton stage. It could get a lot neater, a lot more advanced. I think I could do some of this with variables, but that is the crux of switching out these levels and how it can be really, really useful. You've now got the one Composure comp, and you don't need to remake it for other levels. You know, this doesn't have to be triggered on a blueprint. It can just be like, oh, I have this main Composure comp. Now I want to like bring it into this new persistent level. It saves you having to remake that comp for everything. So yeah, like if anyone hanging out here wants to ask any questions or has got any comments, anything to suggest for future videos as well, I'd be well up for that. Yeah, do let me know. So can an OWL video plane placement be tracked with a Vive tracker? Yeah, so if you have your video plane placement in place, your camera can be controlled by whatever input you want, whether it's Vive or some other kind of real-time input. Your media plate is going to stick in one place, and your camera has the ability to move around wherever it wants, and your media is going to be all good. Yeah, this works with tracked footage as well, for sure. Can characters walk from the back of the OWL map to the front? That's quite an interesting one for sure. I guess that's something that isn't built in right off the bat, but it's quite an interesting one. You can do, what you might want to look at is using a depth pass. It's not something that's built in, as I say, but we have all these custom stencils that come with this. So you can do scene depth as a visualization type. So this means that like you might be able to make a shader that says when it's this far back, then it's visible, but when it's, you know, closer, then it becomes invisible. So you'd have to get clever with the matting. But yeah, that is quite an interesting one. Like, say she was to step over this desk now. Yeah, it's an interesting one to look at. I'll look into that in the future. Thanks for the comment, Williams. And thanks, Jen. Glad you found it useful.
Hi Jasper.
Hey, how's it going?
Can you so with those different what they call the thing you just showed then, the visual what's it
Yeah,
called?
visualization types. Yeah.
Can that can that be sent out? Um, can that be sent
Yes,
out of Infinite as well? Wow.
100%. Yeah, so yeah, what you can do, you can just go in this details here, go like
Right.
visualization type. I like the scene depth one, but you can do a load of other stuff. And then in this composure here, you can now do output. So you could just do like, you could do output, output that to like a spout output, or you can do render target output, and then use the normal kind of off-world render target workflow to
Wow.
lift out that render target and send it out. Yeah, yeah,
Wow, okay. And then yeah, and then in Unreal you can have certain objects which are excluded in as well. Yeah,
yeah.
excluded in the past, so that's how you can start comping, having
Yeah, real-time
layers.
comping stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Crazy.
So yeah, we got like we got capture actors.
Right.
So you can like, you'd have to define this in layers first. So you'd be like, I want these things, and you go layers.
Oh, you define it in the layers first.
Yeah, add selected actors to layer, and then
Nice.
change this to shown or hidden, and then
Just looking at that.
back in this. It's probably doing something crazy for my setup
Right.
currently, but
See if it finds it.
so capture actors, you could then do shown, and yeah, there you go. So that's
Oh,
part
there
of the.
you go.
There you go, part of the include, and then that's like got alpha as well. Should do. Oh, maybe not. There is a way to get the alpha of that as well, so that could just be, sat on its own. Yeah. So that's often used for like if you got a mat, and so if I reset this. So with a mat, I've just got just the desk captured. So this mat is literally just giving the information of this black area needs to be where you cut out this person, So that's what's making her look like she's behind the desk, even in this comp shot. You can see. So yeah, like there's just loads of uses when you get into this like layering of this 2D stuff, and it's all just shader stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, you can be quite artistic with it as well, because
yeah.
there's so many like weird depth stuff going on inside the end.
Oh, it'd be awesome to see what you would make with it. Definitely.
Oh, cheers. Hopefully we get round to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I will say with the level loading,
Yeah.
that's really that's really awesome how you've got it up in the level blueprint there. Just like a little heads up on the level loading node,
Yeah.
the one you're using has a timer on it, and it's fine for how you're doing it, but see there's a little clock symbol on
Oh, yeah.
it, a little white clock. So I came into trouble with those. I came into trouble because I wanted to simultaneously load different ones at the same time. And yeah, that if you're wanting to, so if you wanted to unload a load, I mean it's fine for how you've done it there because you've got them from left to right, but if you were to use a for each loop node in Unreal, then you sometimes might come into trouble with that where it doesn't see it doesn't unload it, and it drove me crazy.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so there is another node for unloading levels. It's basically, it just looks like a boolean, and it's called, I might just unmute myself, and I might just find it. What did you type in? I just unmute myself, and I just find it. I could say the name, but you might see it there.
Yeah, no worries. All good. Flush level streaming? That sounds like it unloads everything.
It's not, it wasn't a function. So I'll just unmute myself, find it, because I have to rustle for my bags.
No problem, yeah. Great to see you in here as well, Griff. How you doing? Hope you're well. Yeah, I'm only just really getting into this level loading stuff. I guess the only things I've seen so far are this load stream level, and it was kind of interesting to me that it was kind of streaming them, and I was reading into it, and it's like it's actually like a 3D volume of the level instead of loading all the geometry. Something quite interesting there.
Right, yeah. Yes, it's a bit of a
It's a weird one.
thing.
Yeah.
And particularly now because they're like with Unreal's new what's it called? The new web loading of levels, which isn't.
Oh, the sort of for loading really big levels, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a different way of working. Let me open this up.
But it's cool. It's like it doesn't have to be for whole levels either. You know, it's It's really nice for sectioning off different parts of a level as well, like between lights and collisions and things, or
Yes.
you know, you could remix a level, have a broken version and a fixed version. You know, cool.
Yeah, exactly. For this kind of presentation given here, this kind of environment is perfect for like a stage.
Yeah.
Got like, it's amazing how it does actually affect physics at the same time.
Yeah. Seeing if I can find like a node on here.
That was it. The typing should be. That's it. Alright, yeah, I guess don't need to go too much about this for this.
Nice, that's good.
Cool. There's a node called get streaming level.
Okay.
And when you have that, you pull off that, and if you type in should be loaded, so get streaming level. Yeah, get streaming level, and then pull off that and say should be visible.
Okay. So you got a boolean there. Yeah.
Boolean, and you can set that rather than a get. If you set that.
Yeah. Oh, well, off of here.
Pull off it again. Yeah. Should be loaded. Set
should be loaded. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then so on the left on get streaming level is in here you can have it could be getting for each loop, and then with this isn't a problem. It loads really quick with this. I don't know why they're quicker. So this red set is quicker.
Right. Oh, than these.
Yeah. In the past, our Glenn programmer, he spent ages working out. I've forgotten why, but there's a bit of a difference how it loads. Anyway, I just kind of recommend it. I recommend this one.
Yeah, that's really useful, definitely. And then I guess you can get all of the levels that you would have chosen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can get is it loaded?
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Very cool. Yeah, this was just kind of I just found this one node basically. I was just like, oh yeah, like I literally just realized yesterday that because I was trying to do Composure setups within a blueprint, and it's kind of just pretty complicated to set all of these media plates and everything within like a construction script. So I was just like, why not just have the Composure on one level and then switch between them, and then that's really useful about this though. I'll look into this. Should be loaded.
Yeah, it looks cute enough.
Yeah. So is that quicker in the way that like literally as you see everything popping in like one by one? Is it like
Yeah,
in
I
that
think
way
it-
quicker?
I
Yeah.
think it actually runs slightly different than the other one. It's not going for a load process. Yeah, they've already been loaded on.
Yeah, already loaded, and it's just visible or invisible.
Visibility. Yeah.
That
so
makes
it's
sense.
quick.
Very cool. Very cool.
Sit that there.
So Griff's saying he's run into trouble with unloading as well. Occasional issue.
Yeah, absolute. I can tear my hair out of it.
Really? Yeah.
But I might. Yeah, I could find a link to what I made that loop and put it on that public Toolkit show. Yeah, so give that a go. Oh, with that node you're on there with the widget.
Yeah.
You probably could keep it like that, obviously, because you might want to define how long you want your animation, the fade. But you know, if you didn't have any graphic, you could have it. The widget turns off when the level's 100% loaded.
Yeah.
It's
That's
loaded.
nice.
Sort of thing.
So what you could do, you could do a get loaded, and if true, then hide widget, I guess.
Hide the widget.
Yeah. Got
But
yeah.
yeah, great tutorial. I don't know much about. I need to catch up about the whole comping plates thing, and it's. I need to go back to your other videos about.
It's a whole other rabbit hole for sure. Loads of stuff to it. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for jumping in. Definitely, it's nice to hear from you.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
What you been working on?
Well, I'm in here with Destin. We're just learning this together.
Yeah.
But yeah, work some of these processes out with UCL.
Amazing.
But then on the side, yeah, I'm just doing some other fun stuff. We'll share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I'm sure you are. It'd be cool. I might actually get up some of your past videos.
Oh gosh.
Like, this is the most awesome stuff. What's the whole junkyard like pirate ship thing?
Oh,
What's- Tuna.
Yeah. So this using off-world camera was good. Was good for that in the past project.
Yeah. How do I find that to get this up
Oh,
as a
it's-
video?
Oh no, you're not going to share that now. Don't share that now.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Cheers though. Yeah, no. I want to get a good presentation place for it. This official
Okay,
voting
yeah.
thing.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll see.
That would be that'd be very cool. Yeah, I just thought it's awesome. It's just such a mad imagining of a game simulation thing. Really pushing it into very, very unusual things. Which
Yeah,
are
it's
right.
you navigate on a boat, so you're moving around due to physics. But then originally you had to use MIDI to move the boat.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Very
bit
cool.
unpredictable.
I'm sure.
I think sadly I got a dash.
Yeah, no worries. All
Um,
good. Yeah, thanks for jumping in, and thanks for the tips on that node as well. It's definitely
Yeah,
what these streams, what the hope is for these streams is that you just clash heads on some of this stuff really.
Yeah, I hope to be, if it doesn't annoy anyone, I hope to be in a few more now.
Awesome.
Being a bit more human these days,
Awesome.
hopefully. So, yeah, it'd be good to hang out with everyone again.
Yeah, absolutely. Cheers, man.
Alright.
All the
See
best.
you later, guys.
See you later.
Now for now.
Yeah, great dude. Awesome, awesome stuff. So Julian, yes, this live stream should be up and running. I'm just checking it out. Looks all good. Switching out the level. Audio's all good. Yeah. So this link will be sound for rewatching that live stream, and I'll post it up in some other places as well. Yeah, anyone else want to chat about anything before we go? I'm going to be doing this every week, same time on a Thursday, so try and think of something else to show off every week. So, sometimes I might need someone to show something, or also like just this, obviously this project, I would love to get people's useful blueprints in here. Someone last week had this awesome camera system. They just kind of need to, it's currently like 50-50 between Unreal Engine and Touch Designer, but they just need to make it so they said they probably could recreate it to just run in Unreal. But yeah, it was a very cool camera switching system that, wasn't revealing all of their secrets to share that and put it into the project, because we want to make this, kind of working on the best way to make this downloadable. It's currently just a Google Drive link, but yeah, we're going to have like an updating link to this repo. So, there's going to be ever growing stuff to go in here. I've got some cool like environment stuff. I was working on this new level, but it is literally just, it becomes very, very quick to piece together environments. We've got this big box that you can pull in to make everything dark inside, and then you can piece together studios like this really, really quickly using our like environment stuff we've been putting together. But then we want to push that towards blueprints, stuff that all slots together in a really nice modular way, to make all this stuff easier. Working on UI elements as well down the line to make this stuff ever easier, but it's an ongoing process, so I'm really glad. Really appreciate you all following it along, and as I say, I'll be showing off something else cool next week. So yeah, if no one's got any questions or anything, I'm going to pop off, but yeah, thanks for tuning in, really appreciate it. Same time next week, we'll be showing off some other stuff. Cheers.